Hello there, my name is Jen. Welcome to my channel. This channel is about A Course in Miracles and how we can use it to change our own lives individually. And when we all do that, we change the world. A Course in Miracles is a book that is meant to change your thinking from earth-based to spiritual-based. This section here, this video, is about what it says. So in a nutshell, what A Course in Miracles is saying. A Course in Miracles is saying that the way that we are thinking is not in alignment with what God is thinking. So this book is designed to get you in alignment with the way that God thinks and not the way that humans think. We actually come into this world knowing how God thinks. I remember. If you can believe that, I know that I have had this feeling like, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right, ever since I was born. And at the age of 6 or 7, I remember saying to my mother, I remember the exact moment we were driving in Tingsboro, Massachusetts. We were coming down a long hill, and at the end of this long hill is the Merrimack River. And like a tenth of a mile from the spot we were at is the Tingsboro Bridge. So it was such a scenic moment, and also this moment where I just realized these people don't know what they're doing, meaning my parents. And I said to my mother, isn't there a book that you can read that can tell you how to do this life thing? At the same time, in New York, there was this book being written, A Course in Miracles, or actually published at that time. It was in the late 60s to the early 70s that this book was written and it was published. And the one thing that seems to be like the word Beetlejuice for this book, you'll find this book when you come to the conclusion that there must be a better way. At the age of 6, I came to the conclusion that there must be a better way. I didn't find this book until 2002. It's a long time where the world convinced me that my thinking was wrong, or tried to, and it successfully did at most moments. In most moments, I believed that my thinking had to be wrong and that I was just not meant to fit in with this world. When I found A Course in Miracles in 2002 through Steven Tyler, who was following Marianne Williamson, and he was going on and on about it. I have no idea if he follows her today or if he's into this book at all, but he is the one that got me to read this, following him, being obsessed with him, being a fan of his. I heard him talking about it once and I followed up on it, and I found this book to really resonate with me. So what it says in its essence is this tagline: nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So we need to determine what is real and what is unreal. And if we can determine those things, then we can find the peace of God. Now, A Course in Miracles has a different interpretation of the Adam and Eve story. It says that before Adam and Eve ate that apple, they were in union with God. When they decided to take that bite of that apple, they became human. And it says they realized that they were naked. Why didn't they realize they were naked before? Because they didn't have a body. And then they quickly wanted to cover themselves up, saying there's an ego here. Immediately is an ego. So when we're in union with God, there's no body and there's no ego. And we're just in union with God as a spirit, which, by the way, is eternal, which, by the way, is perfect, which, by the way, cannot be threatened. So it is real. The only thing that's real is this spirit we decided we wanted to take into this 3D world of duality when we ate that apple. So before the Adam and Eve story, we were in union. Now we are not. And it says in the Bible that Adam took a bite of the apple and he fell asleep. Nowhere does it say he woke up. So all of this is a dream. We are all Adam. We are all still in the dream, trying to determine what is real and what is unreal so that we can find the peace of God. So, real versus unreal, knowledge versus perception. These are the things that are indicators of what or how you can determine what is real and what is not. What is knowledge? Knowledge is real. Perception is unreal. Knowledge is truth-based on law of love or God. Knowledge is unalterable. It is eternal. It is unambiguous. It can be unrecognized, but it cannot be changed. It applies to all that God created, and only what He created exists. Beyond learning, because it is beyond time and process, it has no opposite, no beginning, and no end. It merely is. In contrast, we have perception. This is what our parents did when we came to this earth. We had all of this knowledge. Whether we realize it or not, you did. Now, you didn't know words. You didn't know how to express or understand what people were telling you, and you were making a perception based on things you felt or heard or witnessed. All of this became your perception. It kind of replaced the knowledge that you had. Your perception, the perception that was given to you, is what we think we are, right? And that's based on time, change, beginnings, and endings. It's based on interpretation and not fact. It's based on scarcity belief, which teaches birth and death. It's learned rather than given, selective in its emphasis. It's unstable, and it's inaccurate in its interpretations. It's inaccurate. It's not true. So is it indestructible? If yes, it's truth. It's real. Is it destructible? Yes. It's not real. There's only one thing that is indestructible, and that is the energy of our soul. So the only thing that's true is that we are a soul. And we are indestructible. We are unalterable, eternal, and we were created by God, so we exist. It's beyond learning because it's beyond time and process. Everything we know with this perception, it is blocking what we know as a spirit, as what God created. And the challenge is to come back to the knowledge of who we really are. Now, there's only the truth of who we really are, so there's only one place to come back to. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of the miracle of really realizing that you are a soul. And that's all that matters. And that's all there is. And that's the only place to return back to. And that's what A Course in Miracles is about, coming back to that knowledge. To the point where nothing phases you, because everything you experience on this earth is perception. It's a dream. It's what you had made of this dream. Things you made. We create with God. God created us. But we make things in this dream that are our perception. That's all us. And God honors those things, but then they're still not real. So there's two distinct thought patterns. One will that aligns with God's, and that equals union, or we have a thought pattern of separate wills that promotes duality and separation, separate wills that promotes duality and separation that needs constant defending, and creates a world of illusion which you cannot escape without the Holy Spirit. So there's two paths, and right now we are on the right side. We all think we're separate. We're all promoting duality. We have all come up with some kind of way of getting through this world, some kind of belief system that we are, by the way, teaching to other people just by living. It's separate wills that promotes duality and separation, and we need to constantly defend it. If somebody comes up against that belief system that we have, we are on them. We attack them, A Course in Miracles says. We attack them for not believing what we believe, and it's cognitive dissonance. Like what we have come to realize in this world, a truth that gives us it's not real peace, but it's like the illusion of peace. Somebody comes up against that and we fight. We get, and that's when we're on Facebook. And all these people that are fighting on Facebook in the comments and making comments on posts that have absolutely nothing to do with what they want to promote. In fact, it is the opposite of what they want to promote that makes them feel safe. They're in the comments attacking each other. That's where we're at. And this creates a world of illusion, which you cannot escape without the Holy Spirit. Like we can't get out of this without the Holy Spirit. The way that this all works is that we all get in touch with the Holy Spirit, who Jesus told us in the Bible would be helping us, right? He told us, I will send you a helper. This is why. So that we can get out of this illusion, so that we can come into this one will that aligns with God's and have union again, back to union. The problem, projection makes perception. We are projecting what we believe. We're teaching it. Whatever it is that makes us feel safe in this world, we are projecting it. We look inside first, decide what we want to see, and then project that world outside, making it the truth as we see it. We make it true by our interpretations of what we are seeing. If we are using perception to justify our own mistakes, our anger, our impulses to attack, our lack of love, in whatever form it may take, we will see a world of evil, destruction, malice, envy, and despair. I don't know about you, but that's me. I'm beginning to see that. Because I've had a few spiritual awakenings, and I can't not see that there's a problem. So my spiritual awakening was actually realizing that I was right from the beginning, that the world is wrong, and I need to stop having the illusion of separateness. I need to get back to, it's a remembrance. This is all a remembrance of who you really are, because that was imprinted on your soul when you came here. And what are we remembering? God He has already provided the answer, because the answer was there when we were born. It was provided at birth. We just need to remember it. The true helper, the Holy Spirit, to mediate between the two worlds, because he can see both sides, the truth and the illusion. That's his job, to help us determine what is true and what is not. But he does not believe the illusion. He allows us to have the illusion, but he will not believe it. He knows. He knows the difference between reality and the illusion. It is the Holy Spirit's goal to help us escape from the dream world by teaching us how to reverse our thinking and unlearn our mistakes. And that's what A Course in Miracles is for. The entire book. The book is made up of 30-something chapters. It has lessons attached to it. I think there's 365, one for every day, that helps us reverse our thinking. And it also has a guide for teachers, which is a question and answer kind of section. But the goal is to change your thinking from the way of the world to a more spiritual, in alignment thinking with God. The Spirit's here to help you do that. Right now, scarcity rules the world of illusion. So the process is we see our illusions with the help of the Holy Spirit. Once we see them, we can see past them to who we really are. We become sane because we see past the first world we create. We do this because we want to be sane. Now, does that mean we have to let go of everything? No, because it's an experience. We came here to experience this physical life, this world of duality. So it's not, the duality isn't the evil part. It's the way that we fear the duality, and we fear somebody coming in and ruining our reality and messing it up. It can't be messed up unless you want it to be messed up. So the fear is what we need to get rid of, not the problem. The problem isn't the duality. The problem is the fear that comes with it as of now, because we don't know the truth. Once we know the truth, we become sane immediately. Now, it talks about love and special relationships, right? What we think is love is really a special relationship. And this book wants us to learn what love really is. In today's world based on scarcity belief, we choose to love people who possess something we lack. However, love is incapable of asking for anything. Also, love is incapable of feeling lack. Have you ever loved somebody so much that no matter what they do, you still love them? There's no lack. Love has no lack. What we think is love right now is really trying to get something from somebody that we think that we are lacking. And then we call these things special relationships. These are relationships that are based on, again, need. And you're giving me something for my returned love. It's an exchange. Ego-based special relationships. True love has no conditions. It has no agreements. It has no equal reciprocity. It is what it is. There can be no greater mistake than to misinterpret a special relationship with love. It reminds me of when you're I'm from the office, like I'm from a corporate world, so they're all like patting each other on the back, like with words, like, you're great, you're a rock star, you're awesome. No, they're not. They're just a person. Like all of that building each other up, that's fake. That to me is just like the epitome of a special relationship. But it's all relationships where we think that this person has given us something that we can't be whole without. We can do this with children, we can do this with parents, best friends, relationships, love relationships. If we're thinking somebody is defining our life in any way, or we can't live without them, or our life would change dramatically without them, that's a special relationship. We can only join at the minds, but only the Christ mind can join. What God has joined cannot be taken apart, and that's union. So the mind is what we join with, not the body. And most people are connecting through the body because they're attracted to the body, because that body can give them something. They think they're the body, but we're not the body. We are the mind. And only having this Christ mind of true love and true union can we have union. Sin is defined by A Course in Miracles as lack of love. But since all there is love, this is not a sin that we are able to be punished for. It is only a misperception to be corrected. So all the things you think are sin, or they told us are sin, that's not true. A Course in Miracles says that the only sin, which isn't really a sin, it's a misperception, is to think that you are not God, that you are not love, that you are anything else but love, what God created. False love creates special relationships which are destructive, selfish, and childlessly egocentric. Special relationships as substitutes for our relationship with God. Can be any type of relationship or substitute for God. They are a final weapon of exclusion and demonstration of separateness. The Holy Spirit transforms these special relationships into demonstrations of forgiveness and an awakening from the dream. Hail perceptions and correct errors. Each one is another chance to forgive oneself by forgiving the other. Each relationship we have is a chance to forgive oneself by forgiving the other. It's a chance to love ourselves deeper. Every person that we meet is a chance to love ourselves better, more fully, to learn a lesson in love. Every person we meet is a lesson in love. And that's the Holy Spirit transforms these relationships into demonstrations of forgiveness and an awakening from the dream. These relationships help perceptions and correct errors. And each one is another chance to forgive oneself by forgiving the other. Seeing through the body is what we're doing. And that's not right, because we're not a body. We are not a body. We are what we were before we ate the apple. We are a spirit, a soul, an energy, part of God, a piece of God. However it makes sense in your brain, we are not the body. We are eternal. The body is not eternal, right? It's based on time. It gets old. It's not real. The body is not what we are. Perception is a function of the body and represents a limit on our level of awareness. It evokes limited responses of the body. The body seems independent, but it only responds to the intentions of the mind. If the mind wants to use the body for attack in any way, it becomes susceptible to sickness, age, and decay. That's everybody. We all here on earth are susceptible to sickness, age, and decay. When you see through the vision of Christ, if the mind accepts the Holy Spirit, the body becomes a useful way to communicate with others, becoming invulnerable as long as it is needed and gently laid down when its use is over. It reflects strength rather than weakness. This reminds me, right now, there are bad people of this world, and then there are people that are kind of their victims. And we've seen this in the past year. This is being recorded in April of 2026. We have seen so many instances where there are victims of evil people all over the world. Which ones are the powerful ones and which ones are the victims? Which ones, we have it all wrong. We have it all wrong. Spiritually, those who are meek shall inherit the earth. Those who are meek are the ones who believe that there is goodness in this world, and they're usually the ones that are the victims. The ones that are using the body to control another person, they're doing that because they think they're a body, and that's how they get their power. But that's not real power. Where's the real power? In the meek, and that's why we shall inherit the earth. So if you know that, then you can see we are strength, not weakness. Even if somebody violates our body, believing that there is goodness in this world is the strength. Believing that Christ will come through all of us, through the Holy Spirit, and save this world is the strength. Not the men that are killing each other and killing innocent people and killing their own people and making their people suffer in one way or another. The rulers of certain countries, certain places on this earth, certain people in power, they are not the strength. The ones that keep believing in God and the love of God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, those are the strong ones. Communication through the voice for God, the Holy Spirit which abides in each of us. We can communicate with this Holy Spirit. Just start talking to him. We speak to Jesus through the Holy Spirit who speaks to God. It's a connection. Like God is too far away from us. God is not a body. It is an energy. It's above the human of Jesus because he's a body. Like us, he's a body. The way to communicate to Jesus is through the Holy Spirit, and through Jesus speaks to God because he is at one with God. It's a chain of command that if we follow, we can talk to God. His voice seems difficult to hear because the ego seems to be louder, but it is not true. The Holy Spirit speaks with undeniable clarity and overwhelming appeal. If you listen, it really helps. It's moments where, in the beginning, where I caught myself just not thinking anything egoic. Like I'd be getting ready for work in the morning, just focused on something else, and a thought would come in. And what do they call that when you're focused on something? That is meditation. When you focus on one little thing for a period of time, that's meditation. So through meditation, we can have a conversation with Spirit, with God, with Jesus. Through meditation, we can get the answers as to how to get through this life. It's undeniably clear, and it has an overwhelming appeal. So when you start to do it and you realize you can communicate and receive messages from a power greater than yourselves, it becomes almost addictive, right? And you keep getting these answers, and this is how we save the world. This is how the meek will inherit the earth. No one who does not choose to identify with the body cannot hear the Spirit's message of release and hope. We exchange Christ's version of us instead of the miserable picture we have of ourselves. So we're identifying with the body, and doing that makes me miserable. I'm getting too fat, I'm getting too old, I'm too weak, my voice isn't right. Nothing is ever right when we identify with the body. I don't know. So that's, for me, not true. That you just got to hear it and then stop believing and stop focusing on that thought that, hey, maybe I'm not the body. That maybe that's why I'm so miserable thinking about the body all the time. Because that's not the way to God. We are not a body. We are a spirit, and that is the way to union. That is the way to God. Also, forgiveness. When you know you're not a body, you know that nothing can be done to you in this world. When you know that you're perfect, indestructible energy that cannot be hurt, you cannot be harmed in any way, then there's nothing that you cannot forgive, because nobody can do anything to you. When you truly know that you are a soul, it's like this whole life doesn't matter. This whole life, we are eternal. We're not talking about 100 years. We're not talking about 1,000 years. We're not talking about 1,000,000 years. Eternal. It is timeless. It is forever. It's always. So this little life that we're in right now, it's just a blip. We might not even remember it ever. So everything that we experience, we should have instant forgiveness for, if we can really believe that this is just so unconsequential. It's just not important, except for the lessons that we learn about love and who we really are. Christ's vision is the Holy Spirit's gift, God's alternative of separation, and the belief in the reality of guilt, sin, and death. Typo. Christ's vision shows us another point of view reflecting the thought system that arises from the knowledge in making return to God not only impossible but inevitable. You can't be anything else but where you came from. There's no other place to go. You can only return to the source from which you came. It seems like it's a dictatorship, like somebody's making you go there, but it's just impossible for you to go anywhere else, because there is nothing else. Injustice is done by someone else can now be a call for help and a chance for union. So really, people who are doing something against you or kind of attacking you, it's almost like a cry for help. They want union. They just don't know how to achieve it. Sin, sickness, and attack are misperceptions, remedied through the gentleness of love. Defenses are laid down. Since there is no attack, there is no need for defenses. Our brothers need become our own, because we are all in this together. Without each other, we have and will continue to lose our way. Forgiveness in the world is a necessary correction. To offer forgiveness is the only way for us to have it. When somebody chooses not to love us, or we choose not to love, can't harm us. Whatever shape, way, shape, form, whatever that is, that somebody does that to us. They reject us as a lover. They reject us as a son or a daughter. Our parents can do that. Parents, we think, who is it that harmed you in this life? Because chances are somebody harmed you. A teacher, a priest, somebody might have done something to you in this life, but it means nothing in eternity. In that perspective, it means nothing. And so we have instant forgiveness. It was just an experience of this world. And when we offer that forgiveness, the forgiveness comes back to us, because we're already forgiving ourselves as well. We are the only one who can hold a grudge against us. We're the only one who can do that. And when you forgive others, you forgive yourself. And that is the way to union. A return to God in heaven. There is no need for forgiveness in heaven. Forgiveness on earth reflects the law of heaven, that giving and receiving are the same. This is our natural state. It has not changed because we have forgotten it. So we have just forgotten it. It doesn't mean it's not real. We just forgot it. Through forgiveness, we will all remember. Reverse the thinking of the world. This becomes the gateway to heaven. We can forgive ourselves and hold no one prisoner to guilt. we become free. Forgetting all our misperceptions, with nothing to hold us back, we can remember God. When we are ready, God Himself will take the final step to Him. It's funny because it's like, what does that mean? The final step to Him. Maybe we don't know yet. Or maybe there's moments where I have taken, or God has brought me that final step, and they're fleeting. But I know what I learned from Marianne Williamson. She's like, I don't know what that means. I haven't experienced that yet. What do you do with that from a teacher? I don't understand it fully, but I know it means something, and someday we will understand it in full. But I do think that there are moments where I do experience being home more than I've ever experienced on this earth. I hope that you got something out of that. I hope that you got something out of that. I hope that it helped in some way to understand A Course in Miracles, and I hope that it makes you want to read more about it or learn more about it. But see, this is where people go to read it, and they're like, oh my God, what is that saying? I have no idea. They get so confused in chapter 1 that I feel like it turns a lot of people off. And my intention is to bring that book to you in a way that makes sense. That's not so mind-twisting to read. And that will help you to find union with God instead of the separation of this world. And we can save the world. I hope that non-Christians will take this as a book that is not, the Course in Miracles, I should have said this in the beginning. It is not a book that is the only way. It is just one of the ways through Jesus. You are not required to do this through Jesus. This is just Jesus telling you one way. Wish I said that. Maybe I can edit this to make it say that in the beginning, right? All right. So, yeah, let me know in the comments if there's any questions, or if there's anything more that you'd like to know about it. I'm going to keep making videos, and hopefully we can get out of this mess. All right, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.